Hello everybody and welcome back to round 17 of TTL. My name is Kieran McGinley and today you join us for the United States Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas in Texas. So we're going to jump straight into it now, into the driver standings, and as you can see, well, Crazy Legs has extended his lead so far ahead now that it is, 60 plus points. He could actually clinch the title either this race or next race if results go his way. I believe he can clinch it next time around in Mexico. I'll have to get confirmation on that because I'm not very good at maths. Anyway though, we're going to look at the driver standings now. So Crazy Legs is on top on 237, Spike there in second on 171, Traaaw is in third on 160, Raikkonen in fourth on 139, Frank Dank on 119. And then you have Darren Sinclair in 6th on 118, only a point behind. Mays in 7th in Mercedes on 110. Coyle on 86, then Steph in the other Mercedes on 83. The Gort there on 63 in 10th place. Then we move on to the second page. Alex BD is in 11th on 36, CG in 12th. We've got Pazels there in 13th, Plaster in 14th on 29, only a point behind Pazels. Sharky there in 15th on 24, Geordie's there on 22, Alan Kay on 21, Heemkar on 19, Sean on 13 and Georgia on 11. And then on to the final page now, Nino on 8 points on 21st, Tractor Man on 7 points in 22nd, Weed Nation 23rd on 4 points, Koppel 24th with 0 points. Tuchel joins him in the Ferrari on 0 points. On to the constructors then, and if the constructors hasn't been decided before, it probably has now. Sauber on 356, completely run away with it. Force India, best of the rest, second place on 225. Renault challenging them on 214. Then you have the battle for fourth, Toro Rosso and Mercedes. Only a point between them, 175 to 174. Don't rule out Red Bull just yet, who are behind on 6th place on 168. Then you have Williams in 7th place on 106. McLaren on 84 in 8th place there. Ferrari are 9th on 52 points. And Haas at the bottom on 41 points. Now for the hot lap.
So here we go then, around the Circuit of the Americas. Make sure you get the final corner absolutely spot on. It's going to be essential along this straight here. A little bit of oversteer as I exit the corner, but shouldn't hurt my lap time too much, although it's preferable not to have any at all. Going up the hill now into turn 1, make sure you brake just after the 100 metre board. You can brake later than you think because it's going uphill and you lose that speed. Careful of the traction on the exit of turn 1 there. Now you're heading through turns 2 and then 3, 4, 5 and 6. Very easy to run off the track here. Just make sure you're patient with the car, slow it down gradually as you head through here. Now into turn 7 and then through turn 8. And then turn 9, I believe, as now you're heading through turn 10. It's just a flowing section where you need a lot of downforce going through there. Be patient with the car. Brake just before the 50 metre board. Slight lock up there, just make sure you don't lock up too badly. Get the exit of 11 absolutely spot on. This is the most crucial point of the track. Overtaking points are essential here. DRS is open. Make sure you keep the steering as smooth as possible down here. It is slightly banked and curved straight. Brake just after the 100 metre board, slight lock up again on the front left, shouldn't hurt your lap time too much as you head into turn 12. Now into 13 and 14, be careful of the traction here, the car will try and bite as it tries to lose the back end. Now heading into turn 15 here, very easy to lock up going through the left-hander, just be patient with the brakes, and now heading through 16, 17 and 18. Do not Max Verstappen it, you will get your lap time invalidated. Now coming up to turn 19, chuck the car in, it will grip in, make sure you don't run too wide on the right hand side there, it will invalidate your lap time. Now heading up into turn 20, again be careful of the curb on the inside across the line, and that's the lap of the Circuit of the Americas. Now it's on to qualifying.
Well, here we are at the Circuit of the Americas here in Texas for 12 minutes of qualifying. Of course, the Circuit of the Americas, the Texan circuit, has always been a very, very popular attraction as we head towards the end of the season. 5.5 kilometers, that's 3.4 miles of circuit here, with many, many drivers loving this circuit for its diverse circuit sections, including the heavily banked turn 1. As it goes uphill, your braking zone is much later. Then the overtaking points of turn 11 and turn 12. The long DRS straight there, and just before it you can get a good chance of making your way through there and getting an overtake done. Overtaking is difficult around this track, but it's not impossible, and we shall see how today's race goes. Of course, remember in 2017 the controversy of Max Verstappen, who cut the corner on the last lap, but well, many other drivers cut the corners. I think the FIA in this game is a little bit more strict, so you may see some lap times invalidated, especially through the flowing sections of 3, 4, 5 and 6. It's very easy to put four wheels off the track and invalidate your lap time. And you've got the sweeping right-handers of 17 and 18, which screech on the tyres, so you have to be very careful. Tyre wear is pretty high here, so a one-stop needs to be carefully monitored if you're going to make it work today. Meanwhile, though, we're going to go with the drivers. We're riding on board with Spike here, who is currently second in the championship, as we look to see he's going to be the first one to set a lap time around the track. We've also got Traaaw as well. He is third place in the standings, and he'll be hoping to try and pull a gap towards not crazy towards Spike, sorry. 11 points separates them. Spike on 171, Traaaw on 160. So they're battling out for second place now. We have got one qualifying ban. It's Darren Sinclair for him leaving during an active session during the Singapore Grand Prix. So he is qualified banned today. But as we've seen in previous qualifying sessions, that doesn't mean you're at the back of the grid. Depending on where you are placed in the session, where you join, as you can see, Darren Sinclair there is actually in 8th place right now, as we're seeing Spike here using that flowing section really nicely there. Just be careful through that corner there. It can catch you out, especially with the amount of oversteer, the amount of wheel spin you can get as now you head into turn 11. Getting that right is crucial as you're coming up to the long back straight. DRS isn't active till about halfway down, and there it goes, DRS active now. And Spike here is looking to try and put a lap time on. As we can see the Mercedes there, I think that is Steph trying to warm up his tyres behind him. Spike there heading into turn 13 and 14 now, little kink of 14, and then you're braking into 15. Very easy to lock up going through turn 15, and then you're going through 16, 17 and 18, this right-hander, which is just flat out basically, especially in these Formula 1 cars. Heading into 19, you can take that really heavily there, and then into 20 it banks up as you head round that final corner. So Spike crosses the line with a 1:33.6, and that is the benchmark for anybody else trying to set a lap time. We've got Traaaw here, Alan Kay sets a 1:36.0 as a banker lap. We've got Traaaw here, we've got the Mercedes ahead, who I think is on the out lap, so Traaaw will be the next person to set a lap time here. Traaaw crosses the line and he goes second, 1:34.4, so that is 8/10 off. We'll have a see now. We'll have a look at Crazy Legs, who's on the back straight. The Gort there is on his flying lap, but we're going to see if we can find anyone on a flying lap right now, close to the start finish line. As you can see there, Plaster getting well out of the way of Steph there. Bit unnecessary, I think. Raikkonen going third there with a 1:35, as we see Crazy now on board with him. Sauber running away with it in the Constructors' Championship, as the Gort there goes second, 1:34.1, and puts himself up towards the front of the grid. Crazy then is looking to extend his championship lead. He's in full control of the Drivers' Championship, and as he rounds the final corner, what lap time is he going to set? Crosses the line and he sets a 1:35, but it is invalidated, so he will have to go again. Having a look at Plaster there, but Steph is actually on a lap, as Plaster, I don't know whether he dived out of the way or got it wrong. Let's have a see if Crazy Legs on a lap, so he's still pushing forward. Plaster there abandoned his lap basically, so we're going to have a ride on board with Steph here, who's coming through 19 and 20, and that could be it. Your lap time invalidated. It's very harsh around turn 19. If you run too far wide, it just invalidates your lap time. So that's what's happened to Steph there. as we're going to see what Crazy can do as he's going down the back straight now. DRS fully open, and you could be reaching speeds of sort of 310, 320 kilometers an hour as you're heading into the braking zone of turn 12. Very easy to lock up the brakes as well as you head into the left-hander. You're slowing it down all the way to around 80 to 90 kilometers an hour. It's just an amazing feat here. As you can see there, Crazy's over a second up on his previous time. So he is locking up the tyres though, so he's really pushing this car to see if he can get something out of it as we head through 16, 17 and 18. It's just a lovely right-hander. In these cars it's just flat out nowadays, and you can see here Crazy Legs riding a ball with him, and he decides to pit in. So obviously not happy with that lap, not happy that he's going to set that lap on those tyres, and decides to come in. Weed Nation then on his out lap, I do believe. Yep, that means he's 6 minutes lap time. So he is on a flying lap. Meanwhile, you've got Koppel here, who's got a very weird camera angle. Has to be said. Is that the TV pod? Yes, it is. Oh, that came up weird for me for a couple of seconds there. But there we go. It seemed to have sorted itself out now. Weed Nation starts his flying lap, as the Williams teammates are looking to try and get some momentum going into the latter half of the season. Koppel here then, coming down the back straight. I believe that's Mays. Is that Mays behind him? That is Mays behind him. So Koppel here is looking to try and get a lap time down. Weed Nation going through sector 2 now. They'll be coming towards that sector 3 line anytime soon, as it is towards the obviously the latter half of the track. Meanwhile though, Koppel here goes through to sector 3 and coming around the right-handers here, maybe running a slight bit too wide as you just drop through the gears, and it's a lovely left-hander there. You can just chuck the car in and it has the grip. As now Koppel goes around that final corner, crosses the line, and he goes 6th, 137.6. So he will be looking to try and set another lap. Meanwhile though, Weed Nation coming around this right-hander once again, just keep the throttle in. You can see on the green bar there, he's got the throttle right in. So he's really pushing for it. Down into 5th and then through the gears again, braking hard for the left-hander of turn 20. And trying to keep that oversteer in check as Weed Nation crosses the line. It's a 135.4, but it's not going to count. Blaster then on a lap time. What can he set? He crosses the line now, and it's a 141, and it's not going to count anyway. Mays on a lap, and he's coming around I think that's turn 11 it is. Is anyone on a flying lap now? Steph, it looks like he is. Steph will come up towards the line to start his lap. We've got the yellow flag in sector 3. As we've got Geordie here on a flying lap, and that is someone in sector 1 and 2. I'm not sure who though. As we have Pazos here coming towards the line. Pazos sits a 137.0, but it's not going to count. Geordie here comes towards the line, sets a 134.5, and this one will count. Puts him up to P4. As we're looking for drivers who are towards the end of the lap. Mays here on the back of Koppel. And is Koppel on a lap? Because if so, he's held up Mays there, and I don't think Mays is going to be too happy about this. And Koppel's trying to get out of the way. Mays is heading towards the line, sets a 134.9 and goes P6, but I doubt he's going to be too happy with Koppel about that one. But we will see what happens after this session, what happens to them. Crazy Legs, championship leader, has now got a Red Bull ahead of him, and that is Plaster, I do believe, who is on a flying lap, so he's under no obligation to let Crazy through. As Plaster here is on a lap time, and Crazy Legs here is wanting to use that slipstream, but then it becomes dirty air through the corners. Luckily though, Crazy is just on an out lap. We have Plaster there go up to P8, 136.8, and now Crazy Legs, as Plaster moves across the track, and Crazy Legs starts his lap time. We have Weed Nation, as we see someone did set a lap time there, but I'm afraid I didn't see who. I think it was Geordie, 134.5. No, it wasn't. Traaw's retired from the session. He's done for the day. And, well, with only a minute to go on the clock, he had that corner cut and didn't help him at all. Pazels goes P9, 135.4. Not far off Alan Kay. So we'll have a look and see if there's anyone on a flying lap close to the end. As Geordie retires from the session, he's had enough for today. Raikkonen will pit in, so he won't improve. Mays then coming around the sweeping right-handers into turn 19s and 20. As Mays here, is he going to come into the pits? He is. So Mays has finished the session now. Alan Kay then's on a lap, but I'm not sure he's going to complete it. Paisley's there into P9 so far. He is on a flying lap, as not many people are on flying laps right now. You can see the gaps between them as Spike sets a 1:33.5 and goes fastest of the session. And well, you can see here, Crazy Legs is coming towards the start-finish line now. What's the time he's going to set? He can only go P3. But he will have a chance of another lap. He got across the line just in time. So he's going to be the last person to sell a lap. He's got to find 8/10 somewhere. And here comes Steph, though. He's running low on fuel. And yeah, he's run out of fuel, I think. As he will be making his way back to the pit lane. Meanwhile, Pazels and Koppel are the only people out there. Koppel is going slowly. Crazy Legs has retired from the session, so there's no chance of him getting pole. And Pazels has come into the pits. Koppel's in as well. And Steph has come into the pits then. So then, with everything said and done, it's going to be Spike UK who's going to take pole position for the race at the Circuit of the Americas. Well, this is the problem with everyone retiring and not taking the checkered flag. We're going to wait a full 2 minutes. I mean, I won't make you wait the full 2 minutes. I'm just going to have a quick drink and recover myself. I'll see you after this edit. So then, as you can see, Spike takes pole position for the United States Grand Prix. The Gort there in second, 6/10 behind. Crazy, the championship leader, in third place. Traaaw is in fourth, Steph's in fifth, Geordie in sixth, Raikkonen on the Super Softs qualifies in seventh, Mays is in eighth, Alan Kay is ninth, Pazels is in 10th, Plaster in 11th, Koppel 12th, Weed Nation did not set a time, and Darren Sinclair had the qualifying ban, starts at the back of the grid. The race coming up after this edit. Well, the Circuit of the Americas holds 120,000 fans, and well, from Codemasters it looks like they've got about 10%, maybe? Anyway, the stands look packed for this one, and this is the perfect chance for Spike to try and extend his advantage over Traaaw, over second place in the championship. Crazy has a chance here to just extend his lead even further, but Spike there putting it on pole position for the race coming up. And of course, Lewis Hamilton may be the winner of the most American Grand Prix, but that doesn't matter here, as we look now to go onto the formation lap, and away we go for it. Let's have a look on board with some of the drivers we need to watch out for today. The first one, of course, is Spike UK. Fantastic lap, puts him in the driver's seat in for the race. Set a fantastic lap time, 6/10 faster than anybody else out on track. So watch out for him today. He'll be looking to try and make those ultra soft last as long as he can, and maybe switch on to the soft tyres. The Gort then in second place managed to out-qualify the championship leader. It's worth having a look at him, as the wide corner of turn 1 and the uphill section allows for the overtaking, especially on the first lap. Crazy Legs then, the championship leader, as he locks up going into turn 11, can extend his advantage, but remember there's not too much pressure on him. He is literally in the driver's seat for this one, as he can afford to take it easy and take caution going into turn 1. Traaaw, though, has to keep on the back of Spike if he wants a chance at grabbing that runners-up spot. He currently lies third in the championship, 11 points behind. Any result that puts him ahead of Spike is going to be a good one. Steph then, new in the Mercedes, and out-qualified his teammate Mays, and he'll be looking to build on that momentum as Weed Nation and Darren Sinclair are disqualified from the laps. naughty for those two. Whatever they did, they must have made contact. Yeah, look out for these two, I guess. They're going to cause some problems with Darren Sinclair on the soft tyres. He'll be looking to try and get some positions up there. Raikkonen, though, as well, watch out for him. He's been pretty much under the radar, but he does lie in 4th place in the championship standings. Have a look out for him going into turn 1. He's going to try and look around the outside as we now line up on the grid to wait for the other drivers to take their positions. We can start this race and go racing here in Texas. So here we are then for 5 red lights here in Texas. Lights out and away we go. What's the start like for Spike? Has he got a good start away? No, he hasn't. The Force India of the Gort is side by side with him, and Crazy Legs there doesn't get a good start either. Look at the Haas go. Look at the Haas going up the inside. And has anyone made it through? Yes, they have. I think it's clean for now, and Spike gets ahead of everybody else. Traaaw though makes his way up into 3rd place. Geordie there has come from nowhere, and we've got Crazy Legs. Crazy Legs, the championship leader, is out of the race. Oh my goodness, this is incredible for the championship battle. Now the pressure's on Spike and Traaaw now. Who's going to get the win? The championship leaders hit the wall. Well, I don't know how it happened, but however it's happened, Crazy's now out of the race. Well, I was speaking as if the championship had already been decided. This is why you don't take anything for granted in Formula One, as Darren Sinclair there starts to find himself falling down the field as we have a look now up with Mays and Raikkonen. Raikkonen down the inside of Mays in that Red Bull. Has Mays got the line there to try and keep it? Yes, he has, and goes down the inside. Raikkonen still there though. He'll have the inside for the next corner before the sweeping right-handers, and Mays has to concede and maybe try and get a better exit, but he can't quite make it. Well, it's been a fantastic start so far. The championship leader is out of the race, and I've missed the overtake there on Traaaw as Geordie there, sorry, the Gort there, I think let Traaaw through as he knows this is a huge championship battle now, as the Gort though is not going to, well actually no, he's going to try and have a move up the inside as does he make the move stick? Yes, he's going to try and move up the inside here. Traaaw is under attack from his teammate here as Geordie looks deliciously on as, well, let's hope this isn't a Perez and Ocon situation where the teammates damage each other. But the Gort there not losing a bit of momentum through there. Steph's right behind them as well, looking to try and make any up from any mistake. As we've got the 2 Force Indias there trying to battle it out, as Traaaw there trying to make away from the Gort. Geordie there though, fantastic start for him. He finds himself up in 4th place in the Haas. He was very aggressive through the first corner, so we're not quite sure what happened to Crazy. I'm sure there'll be a steward's inquiry afterwards. But here is Hazels. Now he was not that far away from Plaster, but he seems to have dropped away now as Weed Nation going down the inside of Plaster there. Sorry, Alan Kay, sorry. Read that telemetry wrong. And Weed Nation gets ahead of Alan Kay. Meanwhile, Darren Sinclair finds himself in 8th place, so he's made a great start, and he's looking to build on that momentum. Hasn't scored since Baku in TTL, so he'll be looking to try and get some solid points today. Meanwhile though, Mays is right on the back of Raikkonen and trying to make back that position Raikkonen took away from him earlier on in the race, as Spike sets the fastest lap of the race. Meanwhile, Steph's trying to chase down the Haas of Geordie as Mercedes look to try and get some momentum back into their constructors run. As I'm desperately trying to look for the table now. Here we go. So we have Sauber on top, but they've only got Darren Sinclair in the Sauber now, so it's a good chance for any of the Force Indias or the Renaults to step up and try and take some points here. Well, we've had a hectic start, that's for sure. The Gort here is not letting Traaaw get away, so no team orders in effect then from Force India to try and help Traaaw out. None of that at all. So Traaw's going to have to do the hard work himself. Meanwhile, though, Spike is just pulling away very slightly. Mays, though, is on the back of Raikkonen as we head into lap 3. DRS is active. You can see there Darren Sinclair right on the tail of Mays. Is Darren Sinclair going to have a move? He is. Is he going to try down the inside? And no, he's not. No, he's not. He backs out of it and tries to wait for another opportunity. Meanwhile, Raikkonen is under pressure from Mays now. Meanwhile, though, Steph up ahead is chasing Geordie down. And can Geordie find a way past? Can Steph find a way past Geordie as the two Force Indias try and get away? Steph knows he needs to try and get past. Mays, though, is under pressure from Darren Sinclair. Darren Sinclair's got some immense pace this weekend, and like I said before, he'll be looking to try and get some points on the board on those soft tyres. He's looking good for pace right now. Steph, though, on the back of Geordie. As I'm trying to look and see who's the closest battle in the field right now. It's between Geordie and Steph for 4th place as Spike gets away from Traaaw ever so slightly. But we have the battle for 6th place as well to keep in mind as we head through 3, 4, 5 and 6. The Mercedes of Mays behind Raikkonen. And Raikkonen not getting that S section quite right. As we can see here, Mays is really under pressure from Darren Sinclair, and Sinclair here is really putting the pressure on. Is he going to try and move down the inside going into turn 11? No, he doesn't, but he could have a go around the DRS. Here's Geordie here and Steph. They switched positions quite temporarily there as Geordie found himself back in front. We're going to have a look now. Geordie going defensive. Steph now trying to go round the outside. Can he make that move stick? Geordie locks up incredibly, and Steph, though, makes the move and stays ahead. Steph gets 4th place and can now try and chase down the Force Indias. Geordie there did all he could to defend, but he just locked up, wasn't in control of the car, and in all of that, Darren Sinclair has managed to find a way past Mays and is now closing in on Raikkonen. Meanwhile, though, Geordie is not letting Steph get away. He's still within DRS range, and Steph makes a mistake coming out of turn 19, which allows Geordie to get a better line through turn 20. And can Geordie find a way past Steph going up the inside? Look at this front wing camera. That's an amazing camera. Can Geordie find a way past? No, he stays behind for now, but he's looking really close on the back of Steph, waiting for him to try and make some sort of mistake. Whether it happens or not for Geordie is another question. Traaaw picking himself up a 3-second time penalty. Now that's going through the yeses, which is so easy to do as you try and get through and carry as much speed as possible through there. But the battle for 5th place right now is the battle on the track we're watching, as Geordie here trying to close in on Steph. Sorry, the battle for 4th place. As look at this now, Raikkonen trying to go down the inside of Geordie, and can Geordie hold on? No, he can't, and Raikkonen puts it up the inside, but Geordie here has a better line through, going through turn 11, but then Raikkonen just has the DRS and is able to pull away. This opens up the gap for Darren Sinclair as Geordie tried to make a move and realised that Darren Sinclair was there, as now Darren Sinclair's going to try and go up the inside of Geordie now. He had a try up the inside of Raikkonen, the gap closed, and Geordie is still going to try and go up the inside of Darren Sinclair. Have they kept it clean? Yes, they have, but Darren Sinclair just about keeps ahead of Geordie there. Fantastic battling, and the Mercedes there of Steph having a little bit of a moment and has brought himself back into this battle for 4th place. Raikkonen here made a fantastic move on Geordie. Geordie finds himself down in 7th place now as Mays tries to close in on Geordie now. Geordie had a fantastic start, but he just doesn't seem to have the momentum right now. Darren Sinclair on the soft tyres is having a huge advantage here. Look at this. This is absolutely amazing as Plaster, Alan Kay moves ahead of Plaster, sorry, but he is coming into the pits, and that's why. But you can see now, look at how close this battling is. As you can see here, Steph, look at this. Look at this for the battle for 4th. That's 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, I believe, in this battle. As we've got a Geordie. Geordie's run off. I saw him lose the back end there, and he's lost the car completely going through there. The back end just snapped away from him, and That has cost him a lot of time. I just saw him lose the back end there and just go off-road. And, well, he saved the car, but the tyres will be in some pain as he's now under pressure from plaster. He'll have to recover from that. Meanwhile, though, Darren Sinclair as Traaaw gets ahead of Spike. Is that? Yes, it is. That is for position. And Traaw's moved ahead of Spike. But Spike's gone down the inside once again. Has Spike got the move done? He's still side by side with Traaaw. And look at this. Spike's still down the inside. They make contact. But I think they've kept it. They kept both cars clean. They head through the right-handers now. And Traaaw making the Max Verstappen move there and yields the position. Spike just about stays ahead. But this now is a crucial battle with no championship leader in this race. Traaaw misses his braking zone and runs wide. Had to avoid the back end of Spike there as the Gort now moves up past Traaaw into second place. And that is huge. Is the Gort going to try and let him through? I'm not too sure. I don't think team orders were in effect at Force India, but there we go. Traaaw trying to battle for the lead. He has let Traaaw, the Gort has let Traaaw through. They are working together as the Gort then moves across to let Traaaw back through. They are working together now. They know how crucial this is. And Traaaw closing in now on Spike as team orders there are in effect. That confirmed it really. Further back then, we've got Darren Sinclair on the back of Raikkonen, only 5/10 behind. And you can see now the pace Darren Sinclair has today is astonishing. He's up into 5th place. Remember, he started at the back of the grid. He put on the soft tyres and is just looking to go as far as he can into this race. So this is incredible stuff from Darren Sinclair. It really is. And he could try and have a move on Raikkonen here. Raikkonen goes defensive. But can Darren Sinclair have a move down the inside? He is going to try and have a move down the inside into turn 12, and he gets the move done. Darren Sinclair is up into 4th place. This is fantastic driving from him. Loses the back end slightly, but he manages to stay ahead and keep the position. Fantastic driving. Now he's going to try and head down on the Force Indias and try and throw a spanner into the works between Spike and Traaaw. Fantastic driving from him. Meanwhile, though, Geordie's trying to make up for lost time as he lost the back end through turn 4, I believe it was. And he's on the back of Weed Nation now on softer tyres. And Geordie's here just trying to make some lost time up as he loses the back end slightly here. The Gort here is on the back of Traaaw, but as we've seen before, I don't think the Gort's going to be too keen on making the pass on Traaaw. So the teammates here really are working together, and I think the Gort's just trying to have a look and see what the pace of Darren Sinclair is like, because the Gort's going to have to try and hold him up and allow Traaaw to try and get away. Meanwhile, Raikkonen there gets himself a 3-second time penalty, and we have a look, see Geordie now, as my white cursor blends perfectly into the background of the sky. Geordie here closing in on Weed Nation. He's got to be careful of plaster though. This is the battle for 7th place. As we can see, Geordie here trying to make up for lost time. As we have a look at the telemetry, you can see the Ultrasofts lap 7 to 10. So he's in the pit window here, Geordie. As we see Spike here. The Gort as well on the back of Traaaw, but as you can see they're working together. So Darren Sinclair is closing in on the Gort, so they're going to have to be really careful here, the Force Indias. I know they're working together, but they've got to keep in mind of that. Meanwhile, Spike is in the lead, Traaaw is in 2nd, the Gort is in 3rd. Now, do any of the leaders pit? Who's going to be the first to blink and who's going to be the first to pit in? As Spike dives into the pits, and that surely means Traaw's going to dive in as well. Yes, he does, which means the Gort is going to take the lead of the race, and he does. He'll stay out for another lap, and he hopefully should have the pace to keep in this battle. So this is a battle of the pit stops then. Spike and Traaaw in the pits at the same time. Traaaw comes in. Where is Traaaw? There he goes, and where will he come out? He comes out behind Spike, but what tyres are they on? They're both on the soft tyres, so they're trying to make the one-stop work here. And where do they rejoin? Spike in 7th and Traaaw in 8th. So they've got Plaster, Geordie, Weed Nation and Raikkonen ahead of them. As you can see though, the Gort is losing time to Darren Sinclair quite significantly as well. As Darren Sinclair 2.7 behind the Gort. As we've got yellow flags, we've got Weed Nation here who's run off the track. And did he have the same issue as Geordie there? Did the back end just drop out? Well, the broadcast camera doesn't really show anything. So yeah, I'm assuming then he's just lost the back end and he's lost front wing as well. So he's hit the wall as well. So that's a disaster for Williams. They really wanted to get some good points here today. They had a good chance of it. They lie 6th in the table, so they really needed some points here. As we look to go back on board with Spike here, who is on the back of Plaster and Geordie. As Geordie here, Plaster looking to try and not put up too much of a fight. I say that, but there we are. The Gort then. What's going to happen here? Is the Gort going to try and stay out or pit in? As the Gort pits in. So he comes into the pit. So that means Darren Sinclair, who was the back of the grid, started at the back of the race, will now take the lead of the race, heading into lap 10. So Raikkonen then moves up into 2nd place. Does Geordie take 3rd, or will Spike find a way past? He's found a way past Plaster. We missed that move. We now have a chance of Spike going down the inside of Geordie now. Meanwhile, behind them, Traaaw has to try and get past Plaster. Have they both got the move done? Have they both got their respective moves done? They have. Spike moves up into 3rd. Traaaw moves up into 5th place. So that's crucial for Spike to keep a car between him and Traaaw. As now Spike looks to try and close in on Raikkonen and try and close the gap on Darren Sinclair as well. 12 seconds, around about that is the lap time, or the gap between Darren Sinclair and Spike. So Sinclair's got to be careful of that. Meanwhile though, as you can see here, Traaaw is on the back of Geordie now. Now Geordie locks up and he's trying to make those ultra softs last as long as he can. And Traaaw here in the slipstream of Geordie. Now DRS will open and this should be an easy-ish move for Traaaw as he heads down here. As you can see behind them as well, the Gort trying to make his way past Plaster, and he has done. So the Force India here, the Force India TTL are working together really to try and chase down Spike, and for them and for Spike as well. So let me get my words out if I can. As we see battle between Steph and Koppel there. Steph moves up into 9th place. Traaaw then still behind, the Gort behind Geordie now. Traaaw is up into 4th, and the Gort now has to try and make a move on Geordie. But does Geordie come into the pits? Yes, he does. Geordie into the pits now as Plaster follows him in. Spike sets the fastest lap of the race, and Darren Sinclair still in the lead of the race here. And if you don't know, recently became the SNR champion in its inaugural season. So he's looking to try and build on that momentum. And right now, he's putting in the drive of his life here in TTL. He's having a great time right now. He must be loving this track. He started from the back of the grid, of course, had that qualifying ban. But he hasn't let that affect him at all. As, well, the only thing I can see now is for Sinclair to go onto the super soft tyres at some point during this race. Raikkonen here, who started on the super softs, has to use the soft tyre. He cannot use an ultra soft tyre. It's not one of the mandatory tyres, so he has to go onto a set of soft tyres. Spike though is on his mandatory set, as is Traaaw and the Gort, so they're going to the end of the race now. Mays there is also on those mandatory tyres. They're on the super softs. As we look now to see Plaster on the back of Geordie now. This is the battle for 10th place, the last point. And Red Bull here have had a quiet season, but they're starting to pick up themselves up. They're not that far away from 4th place as well. Toro Rosso and Mercedes in that battle. Red Bull not too far behind, but they need some good points here today. As we see Geordie here defending, and we've got Alan Kay as well, trying to find a way past Koppel. And well, Williams as well have had a quiet season, but there is Koppel in 8th place right now, as loosens the back end slightly, Alan Kay, and going through this sweeping right-hander, and well, he's found a way past. He has, coming around the outside, going through 19, not really a place where you normally overtake, And, well, has he made the move stick? No, he hasn't. And lets Koppel back through as Spike picks himself a 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, we're staying on board with a battle between Koppel and Alan Kay, as Alan Kay here looks to have the DRS. Koppel has the inside line, but he can't quite hold on to it, and Alan Kay moves up into 8th place. Well, Koppel is going to try and keep on the back of Alan Kay for as long as he can, and coming through here, you can see that Koppel's struggling a little bit. Maybe he's running a lower drag than anybody else. Geordie, though, is closing in on Koppel as well. Geordie's had a mixed bag of a race. Lost the back end early on, battling for, was 5th place at the time. But Koppel runs wide here, compromises exit, and as you can see, Geordie has a really good chance here of getting position 9. Now, can he do anything about it? DRS is open, and Koppel here closing fast. Can he get the move done? Koppel goes defensive. Geordie's going to try and go down the inside and thinks better of it, but Koppel runs wide. Koppel outbrakes himself there, and he's now under pressure from Plaster behind him. So, disaster from Koppel. He just missed his braking zone. Meanwhile, though, Raikkonen comes into the pits to put on, presumably, the soft tyres to go to the end of the race. Darren Sinclair, though, still in the lead. And he's 11 seconds clear of Spike, but Spike is closing the gap. There's Darren Sinclair leading the way. And we're just trying to find a battle out here we can watch. We're going to have a look at Koppel and Plaster here, the closest battle on track. As Koppel runs slightly wide, we've got Mays picking up a time penalty, and Plaster here should have an easy move on Koppel here. Red Bull versus Williams. The Red Bull has the inside line, and Plaster, they make contact. Oh, they made contact, the two of them. A bit of debris comes flying off there, and I'm not quite sure who that was from. I'll try and have a look at the cars and see if either of them are okay. But Koppel it looks like it's Koppel who's lost that front wing, because you can see he hasn't got any grip. Oh my goodness, Koppel for Williams here. Yeah, it does look like that. And even a slight bit of front wing coming off means a disaster for you. So that is a huge shame for him. Meanwhile, we're going to ride on board with Steph. Steph versus Raikkonen here as they come towards turn 12. Steph grabs the inside line. Can Raikkonen fend him off though? Steph will grab the inside line. Raikkonen tries to get a better apex, but he can't quite make it, and Steph moves up into P6 now. We see Paisley's there getting past Koppel now, and Koppel's really struggling out there. And well, this is what a lack of front wing is doing to Koppel. He's not got the grip out there. Weed Nation then running at the back, 13th place, unlucky for some, but I'm sure Weed Nation's going to keep pushing on. Meanwhile, Raikkonen here is still trying to chase down Steph. He wants that position back. He's in DRS range, so let's see how this develops. Steph taking that inside line, going defensive, and this will allow Raikkonen to try and get a better line through the apex. You can see there it has. Steph picks himself up a 3-second time penalty, and Raikkonen here will have a better drive through the S's here, but he wants to stay out of that dirty air of Steph, especially if he's on the soft tyres. And yeah, you can see where that dirty air comes into play as Raikkonen here just tries to get a better line through here. You can see Steph running too deep into these corners, and that means he's losing time to Raikkonen. Raikkonen here then still has a chance of getting back past. Meanwhile then Geordie is trying to have a look at Alan Kay. So we're going to try and look at more two battles at once here. As Raikkonen here, you can see him run slightly wide, so does Steph. They're both putting each other off each other's lines now. Meanwhile though, Geordie has a look for Alan Kay. Meanwhile, back on board with Raikkonen. Can he try and find a move? Steph will go to the defensive as Raikkonen just can't find a way past. As now Steph goes to defensive again. We ride on board with these two as Raikkonen takes a better line through there. He's got a better apex, and Traaw's picked himself up a penalty. So these are all adding up to the end of the race, remember. It's going to be crucial now because Darren Sinclair has thrown a spanner into the works by leading this race with the championship leader now out of the race. This is a perfect opportunity for Spike and Traaaw to grab themselves some points and get back into the championship battle. but only if they can overtake Darren Sinclair. Meanwhile, though, Geordie and Alan Kay are fighting over 8th place here, as Geordie trying to find a way through and past Alan Kay, but he can't quite do it. Raikkonen then is maybe going to have a look up the inside. No, he's not. So we're going to jump back on board with Geordie here with Alan Kay. And Geordie's quite an aggressive driver. We might see him try and go up the inside here. He's thinking about it, but no, he backs off and stays behind, way too far back to even think about it. But he's got better drive through this 3, 4, 5 and 6 section here. You can see here. Oh, and Geordie lost the back end slightly there, had to back out of it, and that's unfortunate for him. He had a good drive going through there. Raikkonen then dropping away from Alan Kay, and he is still in DRS range though, so Raikkonen here. Did I say Alan Kay? I'm very sorry. I don't know what I've said actually. So Raikkonen trying to close in on Steph, that's what I meant. And meanwhile, Geordie's closing in on Alan Kay. There we go. I got it right in the end. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. So Geordie now trying to close in on Alan Kay with the DRS open, but can't find a way past. Locks up again, but he's really trying to go for it now. The battle for 8th place. Meanwhile, we've got the battle for 6th place between Steph and Raikkonen to try and have a look at, as the Gort here. He did drop down to a lap down for a split second there. I wonder what happened, but never mind then, as Raikkonen's starting to fall away from Steph. Geordie, though, is closer to Alan Kay than he has been in a long, long time. As you can see there, Alan Kay running slightly wide. That's going to compromise him going into turn 20. And Geordie's going to try and take full advantage of that. Takes that curb beautifully there. And he's got a perfect exit here. This is his chance now. This is the best chance of his race to try and get past Alan Kay. But can he do it? He's up to the inside now. He's got the inside line. Locks up slightly. And he's past Alan Kay. He is through and past him into 8th place now. And now he can try and pull away and catch up, if he can, to Raikkonen in P7. Meanwhile then, Raikkonen still there. He's still behind Steph and he's still within DRS range. So this is going to be crucial for them, for Red Bull as well, as they've had a quiet season, but they need to score more points than Toro Rosso. And the highest Toro Rosso driver is Alan Kay, so they are going to gain some points as well. So let's have a look at your race leader. Sorry, Darren Sinclair in the Toro Rosso comes into the pits. So he is the highest Toro Rosso driver. So 25 points for Toro Rosso right now would not look too bad for them. It could jump them as high as 4th in the championship. So Darren Sinclair into the pits though, for what will be, I assume, his Super Softs. On they go. Yes, Super Softs go on, and it's a really good pit stop from the Toro Rosso boys there, as he comes towards the end of the pit lane now. So he's got faster tyres, and where will he rejoin? There's Mays on the left-hand side of your screen. As can Darren Sinclair stay ahead of Mays? Yes, he can. Just about though. Perfectly timed from the Toro Rosso boys. But, well, Steph there trying to get past Raikkonen. And, that's a bit of contact there as Steph runs wide again. Raikkonen, they're trying to go side by side through the S section. That's not going to happen. And Raikkonen backs out of it. I'm not sure what happened to those two, but Raikkonen seems to be all over the place right now. And I did see them move up, but I'm not entirely sure what happened. Meanwhile, though, Darren Sinclair is in 4th place. Now he's got super soft tyres with 12 laps to go. And what can he pull out of the bag here? Meanwhile, we're going to have a look at Raikkonen and Steph, who are still battling it out as Steph lost the back end there. Who has the DRS? It's Raikkonen. So Raikkonen is able to try and pull away. Steph's still in the slipstream, and this isn't the best camera angle in the world to look at. But Steph there locks up, trying to get as close to Raikkonen as he can, but he slightly missed his braking point there and finds himself behind Raikkonen once again. So here are your leaders right now. It's Spike in the lead. We've got Traaaw in 2nd. The Gort's in 3rd. Darren Sinclair's in 4th. Mays is in 5th. Raikkonen 6th. Steph is in 7th. Geordie is in 8th. Alan Kay in 9th. Blasters in 10th. Hazel's 11th. Weave Nation 12th. and Koppel, the last of the runners, in 13th place. We had Crazy Legs as well, as we've got the Mercedes here of Mays in the pits. We had Crazy Legs retire from the session early on the first lap. He lost the back end, or was involved in an incident, or something else happened, and he crashed out of the race. So Mays here on the ultra soft tyres. That's an interesting move. 11 laps on those tyres. Well, he'll be lucky to make it to the end on those. But maybe he has good tyre wear this race. Maybe the team think he can do it. Meanwhile, though, Steph is just not giving up on Raikkonen, is he? He's still there, and the battle for 5th place is really starting to heat up, as these two are going hammer and tong at it. Raikkonen trying to stay ahead of the Mercedes. He knows Darren Sinclair's ahead of him, and Toro Rosso have a really, really good chance of just, well, getting... Oh, we've got Steph off there. Well, I'm not sure what happened there. I looked away from the constructors' standings, and I see Steph spun around. I think he just lost the back end there, but I'm not quite sure. Why does all the interesting action happen when I look away? Honestly. Anyway, so Steph now finds himself 6.9 behind Raikkonen. So, well, a bizarre moment there, but Steph's just got to keep his cool. Meanwhile, though, Darren Sinclair's closing in on the Force India of the Gort. And, well, this is going to be a spanner into the works, as Toro Rosso here have a chance of climbing that table tremendously. He sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:36.3, and he's really going for it now, as he's closing in on the Gort lap by lap. 10 laps to go, and Spike finds himself still in the lead, but here comes Darren Sinclair, and on those tyres he's really closing up to the Gort here. He's pulled him in by about a second through this section alone, and he's 3/10 behind. Darren Sinclair could have a podium place by the end of the first DRS straight. So what's going to happen here? Alan Kay's into the pit, but we're still going to stay on board with Darren Sinclair here. Has a look up the inside, tries to put some pressure on the Gort, and look at this. He's got so much better traction and a much better exit than the Gort. This must be the easiest move of the race here, as Darren Sinclair opens up that DRS. He's now ahead of the Gort, but can the Gort do anything about it? Darren Sinclair will take the inside line and take 3rd place away from the Gort, and this is going to spell trouble for Traaaw and Spike here. This is tremendous stuff from Darren Sinclair. He's really doing a really good job out there, and well, Traaaw here has to be careful. He's got Darren Sinclair, who will close on him as quick as he did his teammate. So well, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Traaaw here, and this could really be interesting heading towards the final few laps. We've got 9 laps to go now. Spike still in the lead. It's Traaaw in 2nd, Darren Sinclair in 3rd, the Gort's in 4th, Raikkonen 5th, Mays is in 6th, Steph is in 7th, Geordie is in 8th, Plaster 9th, Paisl's 10th, Weed Nation 11th, Alan Kay 12th, and Koppel is in 13th. There he is. There's Koppel in 13th. Well, it's going to be a grandstand finish, I can guarantee you that, with Darren Sinclair here pushing and pushing. Steph's now in the pits. Well, I mean, I'm not sure what Steph's doing in the pits. Maybe to try and change some tyres, change some strategy, or maybe he's trying to do a Fernando Alonso and get the fastest lap of the race. Darren Sinclair picks up a 3-second time penalty, which all adds up towards the end of the race. And, well, Traaaw... Sorry, there's Traaaw. Traaw's under extreme pressure now because Darren Sinclair is closing, and closing fast. With 8.5 laps to go, it's going to be a question of whether Traaaw can actually hold on to 2nd place, as Darren Sinclair's closing and closing every single lap. And, well, he hasn't scored since Baku. But what a points tally this would be coming out of America. This will give him so much momentum towards the end of the season. Meanwhile, though, Traaaw still in 2nd place for now, and Spike here coming up to some back markers. I believe that's Koppel. It is Koppel. Spike locking up coming into the last corner. That's going to cost him some time, as Darren Sinclair finds himself 2.4, now a lap, now 9/10 away from Traaaw. Well, this is going to be a huge battle here, as we see Steph here coming onto the back of Paisl's. Ultra soft versus soft. I think there's really only going to be one winner in this one. as we can see now, Steph gets past Pazels, and I don't think Pazels put up too much of a fight there, as he just sort of realises the ultra soft versus the soft battle is not a battle worth getting into. Meanwhile though, Darren Sinclair, and he's caught up to Traaaw tremendously here. 8 laps to go here, and the Traaaw is showing some tremendous Darren Sinclair is showing some tremendous pace here to catch up to Traaaw here. And these are the two championship, the two of them, Spike and Traaaw, wanted this race because Crazy Legs is out of it, but Darren Sinclair's put a thorn in their side, and Darren Sinclair has got up into second place. Now he's 4.5 seconds behind Spike. This is an incredible drive from Darren Sinclair so far. Can he really put a spanner into the works and catch up to Spike? Well, Spike thought when he went into this race that he could have 25 points gained. Now he could have only 18 if Darren Sinclair gets his say in it. Stay tuned for this one, as Spike will now cross the line for only 7 laps to go. And 7 laps is a long time, especially when you're trying to defend on soft tyres. As there we go, 7 laps to go in this one. Stay exactly where you are. This is going to be very tasty towards the end of this one. Seth now trying to get towards Plaster, and again, ultra soft versus soft tyres. I don't think there's going to be too much competition here, as Plaster trying to do his best to defend, but on just worn softs there's no doing about that. And Steph moves himself up into 8th place. Darren Sinclair then only 3.5 seconds behind Spike, and still closing. The Williams there of Koppel gets right out of the way, as yes, Sinclair is closing, and closing fast. Traaaw then is in 3rd, and what might have been for Traaaw is turned into 15 points for now, as Steph now puts the fastest lap in 1:35.9, and does that Fernando Alonso style thing. Meanwhile, we've got the other flags in Sector 2. I'm not quite sure who that was, but never mind then. I guess we'll never know. Plaster then is in P9 out there, as we've got Pazels in 10th as well. Just checking up on some of these drivers I don't normally get to see. Ferrari have not had a great season. They do find themselves in 9th, and a point here will be good momentum for them. It'll take them up to 53, but they're locked in a battle with Haas, and you can see Geordie here up into 7th place. So this is going to be a battle for 9th place in the championship standings between the two of them here. I don't think there's another Haas racing in this one. I don't think so. Steph there is on a charge right now, trying to move up the field as much as he can. He can try and chase down Geordie, but I think that'll be it. So 7th place would be a good result for Steph, as his first race in a Mercedes. Meanwhile though, Spike's gap with 6 laps to go is 2.3 seconds. Now is the case of whether Darren Sinclair's tyres are actually going to last as long. Of course, Spike's tyres are going to last to the end of the race, but Darren Sinclair's tyres, they're going to wear quicker. In a 50% race, they wear quicker than you think. You make one mistake and your tyres are ruined for the rest of your stint. But as you can see here, Spike's lost so much time to Darren Sinclair just in that S section. It's now 1.2 seconds, and Darren Sinclair has a real chance of taking this race away from Spike, as Pazels comes into the pits now and gives up that point, it looks like, to Alan Kay for now. Yes, he does. Darren Sinclair is pushing the car to its absolute limit right now, and well, let's see what happens. Let's see if he can take a race win for Toro Rosso. They've been in and around the midfield all season, and it'll be a great sight to see Darren Sinclair scoring his first points since Baku by getting onto the podium. In fact, better than that, onto the top step of it, as Steph there gets past Geordie into turn 11. Pretty simple move for him. But we're going to jump back on board with Darren Sinclair and Spike. This is the battle for the lead. 5 laps to go, and Darren Sinclair has time on his side. He's got the pace as well. And we'll have a look at the front wing of Darren Sinclair. Now, will they keep it clean? How defensive is Spike going to be? He wants to hold on to this position for all he's got. But you'll see now, Darren Sinclair, the amount of pace he has through this section is incredible. Look at this. he's able to just keep the car planted on the road, and Spike just has trouble with the grip. That's probably due to the tyre compound as well. But Darren Sinclair here is right behind Spike as Spike loses the back end very slightly. Darren Sinclair, oh, they made contact. They've made contact, the two of them. Spike lost the back end and Darren Sinclair got the full force of that rear tyre. Now, has Darren Sinclair got any damage at all? That's going to be crucial towards the end of this race. Let's hope he hasn't, and let's hope these two have a good battle. Well, that was a scary moment for Darren Sinclair, that's for sure. But he's got the slipstream, he's got the DRS, but he'll stay back. Spike locks up going into turn 12. Very scary moment for Darren Sinclair. He probably thought he was in the wall and that was his race over there. But real warning there for Darren Sinclair not to get complacent. Keep his concentration here. There's still plenty of time in this race for him to make that move. But Spike here is going to defend for all he's got. As you can see here, Spike takes that wider line going through the right-handers and locks up slightly there. Darren Sinclair here is not going to find this very easy. Traaaw could put up a good fight, but Spike looks like he's going to try and defend for all he's got. And Darren Sinclair now into the slipstream once again. DRS wide open as I don't think he's going to try and move this time around. No, he's not. But gets right behind Spike there, does Darren Sinclair. Out of turn one they go. And you can see again that Darren Sinclair right on the tail of Spike. This is an amazing battle. 4 laps to go then, and Spike here has a real chance and a real danger of falling behind. But Darren Sinclair has to get past him first, and he's already found out in 1 lap that's not going to be as easy as it sounds. Spike really pushing the car here, and this time they keep it clean, and this time Darren Sinclair may find himself in the DRS zone and in the slipstream, ready to make a move. Here they go then. What's the exit like? Darren Sinclair gets a better one. Here he goes now into the slipstream. Spike UK here has a real chance of losing this race. And Darren Sinclair now gets ahead of Spike. He's down the inside now. Can Spike do anything to defend? No, he can't. Well, he's going to try. Down the inside he goes once again, locks up, and the two of them are in a dead heat battle. This is incredible. Now Darren Sinclair round the outside, going through the left-hander here before the sweeping right-handers, and you do not want to be on the outside of the sweeping right-handers. Darren Sinclair throws his hand up in frustration, and Spike, I don't think he's going to hold on. No, he's still around the outside, and down the inside he goes. This is incredible, and somehow Spike holds on to the race lead. This is incredible battling. This is absolutely incredible. Now Spike has the DRS, and Darren Sinclair's closing on him. I've lost all words to speak as Darren Sinclair tries to go down the inside once again. Has he got the move done? No, he'll have a worse exit coming out there. All of this means that Traaw's managing to try and catch back up now. 2.3 separates him from Darren Sinclair. Oh, this is incredible now. These two are locked hammer and tong now as Traaaw looks to try and catch up. Darren Sinclair, I reckon, thought that was going to be an easy move, but somehow Spike's held on around those right-handers, and that was absolutely incredible. 3 laps to go, and this lead is not going to change very easily. You could see Traaaw there closing in, and this could be a real battle between the 3 of them if it comes to it. Darren Sinclair now, once again, is going to have a go down the DRS straight. DRS wide open for him now. He's in the slipstream. Spike goes defensive. Now they're side by side. Darren Sinclair trying to go around the outside. Spike locks up, takes the inside. But this time, Spike has the outside line, but Darren Sinclair backs out of the move altogether. He's not happy. He's not going to take that risk this time around. And all that means is Traaw's managing to catch up. Look at that, 1.7 now behind Darren Sinclair. Now Traaw's getting drawn into this battle. As we see now, going through the right-handers, you'll see Darren Sinclair have much more grip as, well, this battle for the lead here. Spike's not giving up at all, as he knows how crucial those 25 points are going to be to keep him in this championship battle. Now you can see now, on the back is Darren Sinclair. He's in the slipstream once again, DRS open with 2 laps to go. Darren Sinclair trying to go round the outside this time. Darren Sinclair, has he got the move done? They make contact once again, and Spike here not giving him any room. Don't go go too wide through here, guys. It's not a good idea. They're going to do it anyway, as Spike here still holds on to the lead of this race in America. This is absolutely incredible. All the more, Traaaw is managing to find a way back into this race, and he could still have a chance of winning this one. Meanwhile, though, Spike holding on for dear life. Darren Sinclair, though, gets a 3-second time penalty for his troubles, goes down the inside, but will he have DRS going down the straight? This is absolutely incredible. Spike now, does he have DRS? Across the DRS line they go. He won't have DRS. Neither of them do. That's incredible. Traaaw will, though. No, he won't. Well, this is incredible then. Now then, Spike trying to go round the outside, locks up. Will take the inside line to try and get a better exit, but he's lost the back end. And Darren Sinclair takes the lead of the race with only 1.5 laps to go. And how much has Spike hurt his tyres, because Traaaw now is right on the back of these two. Darren Sinclair can try and pull away now through the right hand as he goes, but of course we've got the penalties to apply at the end of the race. So on track, Darren Sinclair may win it, but we've got to wait until the end of the race. But Traaaw here has a real opportunity. If Spike's taken so much out of his tyres, Traaaw may have a chance here of second place on track. Darren Sinclair, though, finds himself in the lead of the race on the final lap. Spike in second, Traaaw in third, and this is going to be a disaster for Spike if he falls behind Traaaw now. Well, Darren Sinclair really has thrown a spanner into the works, and you can see there how much he's pulling away now from Spike, 1.6 ahead, and you can see how much Spike's tyres are really screaming now as Traaw's right onto the back of him. This is incredible stuff, and I can't believe it. Race after race, I just get fantastic races to comment on, and this has been no different. Darren Sinclair then has come out of nowhere, and of course he has to make it to the checkered flag, but you can see here Traaaw and Spike for second place in the championship. They thought they were going to have a chance of 25 and 18. They now find themselves trying over 18 points altogether, as now Traaaw is in the slipstream of Spike. He's only got one opportunity. Darren Sinclair had 4 opportunities to try and get past. Spike only has one chance to defend against Traaaw. He locks up entirely though, and Traaaw is going to find a way into second place. Spike UK though finds the inside line. They make contact, and Spike lost the back end, and Traaaw gets into second place. Incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible. That battle's not over though. We're going to have to jump on board with Darren Sinclair, who for me has been the driver of the day. And who would have put this on the bet sheet? Who would have put Darren Sinclair winning this one? It doesn't matter though, because Darren Sinclair crosses the line first to take the win in Circuit of the Americas. Traaaw is in second, and Spike UK will finish in third place. The Gort comes home in fourth place, and I think Spike actually ran out of fuel before the line, which is why the gap is 3.3. Raikkonen then will come across the line in fifth, but Mays jumps him into fifth because of penalties. Steph there running around the final few corners. He's not had a great day, but he's had some good overtakes. And, well, he'll come across the line now in 7th place. That's some good points for Mercedes. He'll come across the line in 7th place. Geordie then in 8th. He's closed down by Alan Kay. Can Alan Kay try and get a move done before the end of the race? He's certainly closing and closing, but I don't think he's going to have any option here but to stay behind. But he might move ahead through penalties, and he does move ahead through penalties. We'll have a look and see where Koppel is, and he finds him all the way back there. But, well, we'll have full everything, full results after all of this. But your winner for round 17 in America is Darren Sinclair from the back of the grid. If you had told me that the championship leader would retire on lap 1 and the 2 contenders wouldn't take first place, I'd have called you mad. But Darren Sinclair's proved everybody wrong here. Fantastic pace all weekend. He's deserved this one. So then, the official, unofficial results. Darren Sinclair takes the win, Traaaw second, Spike UK in third, the Gort in fourth, Mays in fifth, Raikkonen in sixth, Steph in seventh, Alan Kay, I believe that was, in eighth, Geordie ninth, Paisl's 10th, Plaster 11th, Weed Nation 12th, Koppel in 13th. Crazy there, the championship leader did not finish the race. What a race that was. Absolutely incredible. Whew. I need a drink after that one. But, well, absolutely amazing performance from everybody today. Obviously, we'll have the steward's inquiry into any moves or anything like that. That'll all be updated at the next race, if anything needs to change. But Darren Sinclair walks away a winner today. Who would have predicted that one? Well, makes me wonder what the results are going to be like next time around at Mexico. Please do join us then for round 18 of the championship in TTL. Until then, though, I'm going to have a lie down because that was exhausting. What a race. And it feels like I say that every single time after every single league race I do. But it's incredible racing, it's incredible to watch, and I'm honoured to commentate over it. So, well, until Mexico, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all next time.